Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Fatma Mari, and I'm here, the Deputy Director of the Council for British Research in the Levant, CBRL. Yes, okay. CBRL Amman. And on behalf of the director, Jen Humphreys, and my colleagues at CBRL Amman, we would like to welcome all our distinguished guests here who's attending in person or attending from online. Just before we start tonight, I'd like you to please ask you to keep your mobile phone in silence. And I also would like to ask you, especially for the ones who are coming here for the first time, to sign in the attendance sheet your name and your address so that you can always be posted with our activities, CBRL activities and facilities provided here. And for those who attend us online, please use the Q&A box for your comments or question, which will be discussed at the end of this talk. And for our talk tonight, entitled 10 Years of Community Engagement Through Sela's Work in Jordan, presented by our distinguished speaker, architect Maria Elena Ronza, who is the founder and president of Sela for Training and Protection of Heritage, a Jordanian organization dedicated to advancing community engagement in heritage conservation. Over the past 10 years, she has led numerous initiatives in Petra and across Jordan, focusing on capacity building, sustainable conservation, and youth employment in the heritage sector. With a background in architectural and archaeology, Maria Elena has collaborated with local and international partners on archaeological excavation, training program, conservation projects, and research promoting inclusive and sustainable approaches to culture heritage through community engagements. Maria Elena, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Sorry for my Italian English. So I would like to start by thanking CBRL, not only for the invitation this evening to present our work, but also for their consistent support to our mission and vision through the years. And my sincere gratitude also goes to Dr. Fatima Marai, who has been a vital ally for Sela throughout the years. Thank you. Tonight, I would like to share with you a journey that is both personal and professional. Before I begin, I have to acknowledge the contribution of 3 scholars. Can you hear me? Of 3 scholars who were crucial in the formative years of Sela when the vision began to take shape. Dr. Osten LaBianca, my mentor, who first introduced me to the concepts of community archaeology and participated archaeology, and with whom I have worked for over 20 years now. Dr. Chris Tuttle, who launched the Temple of Wicked Lions Cultural Resources Management Initiative in Petra, where I worked first as a site manager and later as a co-director. During the of Sela, and the idea of the company started to take form. And last but not least, Dr. Erin Edison, who supported us in the first days with precious advice and guidance. So let's start this journey. Our journey started exactly 10 years ago, in 2015, when 4 members of the TWL project, the Temple of Wicked Lions project, and myself, all from the communities surrounding Petra, came together with a simple but radical idea: that heritage protection in Jordan could and should be led by the very communities who live with it every day. This idea became Sela for Training and Protection of Heritage, that has since grown into a national reference for community-based cultural resources management. Over the past decade, Sela has grown from a small community-driven experiment into one of Jordan's leading actors in community-based cultural resources management. Initially, the concept of cultural resources management in Jordan was primarily linked to international mission and governmental projects. We are now proud to see a generation of local trained young men and women actively involved in the protection, interpretation, and management of their heritage. This is done in close collaboration with the relevant governmental institutions, such as the Department of Antiquities and the Petra Development and Tourist Regional Authority, and with numerous national and international partners. So let's embark on the journey, a journey of challenges and lessons learned, and not just achievements, to show how community engagement can transform both people and places. Cultural resources management in Jordan is largely project-based and externally driven. Local communities are rarely part of the decision-making and often are just beneficiaries, not partners. Our first goal was to change this dynamic and to create a bridge between local knowledge and professional conservation practice. We established Sela in 2015 as a registered non-for-profit company. The company registration itself posed the first challenge, since Sela was the first non-for-profit company registered to operate in CRM in Jordan. We faced several complications because there was no procedure in place to establish this kind of company. But also, in the early years, Sela struggled to convey its business model to the government authorities, to establish archaeological and cultural heritage institutions, and even to the communities that it aimed to engage. Despite the initial difficulties, Sela attempted and succeeded to enter and build its reputation in an economic and scientific sector that had been dominated almost exclusively by governmental institutions, foreign-led archaeological missions, and foreign research institutes for over a century. In 2016, we started with basic conservation courses for local workers within the USAID SHEP project at the Temple of Wicked Lions. Teaching documentation, cleaning, preventive conservation, and archaeological excavation basics. In 2018, we launched the first structured vocational training program in collaboration with the Department of Antiquities of Jordan through the Employment Through Heritage project. These experiences helped us to articulate our vision that empowered communities are essential to sustainable heritage management. As we gained experience, we realized that training was not enough. To truly transform the cultural resources management, we needed a complete ecosystem, linking training, employment, and long-term site management. That's when we began formulating our community-led conservation model based on three main pillars: capacity building, developing local skills in conservation, documentation, and management, employment pathways, linking those skills to real work opportunities and institutional partnerships, collaborating with the Department of Antiquities, the Petra Development and Tourist Regional Authorities, many universities, NGOs, international and national partners to ensure continuity. So with these four projects are the ones that actually helped us in establishing our strategy. The first project is the Learning from Multicultural Amman, Engaging Jordan Youth. Led by Durham University in collaboration with the Ashmite University, this project aimed at searching for effective and sustainable education in Jordanian museums, particularly for the benefit of young people from different cultural backgrounds. With this project, Sela had the opportunity to design and produce educational tools for Jordanian museums, for Jordanian public museums, including museum customized treasure hunts and stratigraphic boxes. In addition to that, Sela's Little Archaeologist program was developed to bring the experience of an archaeological site to school, museums, and social centers. Sela collaborated with the Jordanian writer Rashad Abad and the illustrator Gaida Bregesh to produce the first of a series of heritage-themed children books. This experience was especially formative for us because we had the opportunity to work with the new generation and to start thinking about how we can engage children in an educational way, and also how we can better promote our heritage through the young generation. The second project is the Employment Through Heritage. With the Employment Through Heritage project, EHP, Sela started a long-term collaboration with the Drosos Foundation. EHP aimed at forming a young generation of Jordanians trained as CRM operators. We introduced the first structured vocational training for technicians operating in the CRM sector. The training programs were developed in collaboration with the Department of Antiquities and included documentation, conservation, and archaeological landscape rehabilitation. We decided to work mostly on minor archaeological sites, those sites that are more difficult to raise funding for, and also that are in continuous need of routine maintenance, which is always a major challenging for funding. So since the Drosos Foundation was concentrating more on the training and deployment aspect, and so on the engagement of young people in the sector, we had the opportunity to drive funds to minor archaeological sites. And in the collaboration with the department, we drafted also new guidelines for the sector, which are still to be approved. That is a very much longer journey, probably, but we are still optimistic. So we work with the Department of Antiquities through this project and defined 21 technical and professional profiles for our sector. The approval process is ongoing, as I said, but this will actually help young generation in finding better employment, but also will help the sector to gain better quality work if there is a definition of the categories and the professional and technical profiles. The third project is the Jordanian archaeology as a sustainable heritage, as a sustainable industry, sorry. With the Jordanian archaeology as a sustainable industry, JASI, we expanded the vision of the previous project and started engaging communities in heritage management through on-the-job training. JASI, in fact, aimed at training multidisciplinary teams instead of individuals. EHP laid the groundwork for JASI by establishing a framework for training, collaboration, and community engagement. And this foundational effort allowed JASI to hit the ground running, leveraging the knowledge, the networks, and the resources developed during EHP to expand its reach and impact. By building on this legacy, JASI has elevated the standard of cultural heritage preservation and community participation, especially in the Petra region. With JASI, our goal was to move from dependency on short-term, externally driven projects to a self-sustaining model where heritage is an engine for development. The proposed JASI model was quickly embraced by PTDRA, the Petra Regional Authority, through the Petra Maintenance Project, expanding the outputs of the project by facilitating the training and the employment of over 200 individuals from the Petra region on long-term contracts. This integration underscores the sustainability and scalability of the JASI approach, reinforcing its impact on local development and preservation of Jordanian's cultural heritage. So connected to JASI, we started the Petra Maintenance Project. We started the Petra Maintenance Project. PTDRA, as I said, quickly bought in the model and gave us the opportunity to pilot a public-private cooperation model. JASI involved three main components. The first component involved the creation and the training of a multidisciplinary team, comprising skilled professionals and technicians. By leveraging and enhancing local expertise, the project empowered communities in Petra while developing a capable workforce equipped to tackle the challenges of preserving archaeological and cultural heritage. Sela trained multidisciplinary teams drawn from the host communities, young professionals, new graduates, and technicians who were eager to work and contribute to the preservation of their heritage. The project provided the hard skills in maintenance, conservation, and documentation, and soft skills in teamwork, leadership, and entrepreneurship. This dual approach meant that they were not only equipped to work in heritage, but also employable across other sectors like construction, tourism, and cultural industries in general. The second component of the project involved the employment through the design and implementation of emergency interventions on maintenance in Petra. Each one of the trained multidisciplinary teams had the opportunity to take on the challenge of managing and executing emergency intervention. Over the course of 28 months, these teams worked at over 45 monuments in Petra that you can see on the map. And this approach provided a comprehensive real-world learning experience while simultaneously contributing to the safeguarding of Petra's rich heritage. The area of interventions that we covered were not only small-scale conservation interventions, but also we work on archaeological landscaping by creating a series of trails that you can see in blue, red, and green. And we had a team installing signage that we produced in collaboration with PTDRA. And we also had a series of multidisciplinary teams working on documentation of monuments and condition assessment that could inform the decision-making of PTDRA as they define their strategy. So this was a great opportunity for the community to have an active role in decision-making, also for the strategic conservation of the site. JASI and the Petra Maintenance Project combined created over 230 job opportunities and trained over 300 members of the community living in the surroundings of Petra. And the real engine of this project were actually the community. An important component of the project, which I will talk about also a little bit later, was also the community engagement component. Through the project, we hosted over 50 events, including heritage themed camps for children in the community. We did 3 rounds of community mapping that led to the information that we are currently uploading on the website of PTDRA, and it will be part of the signage of the site, so that the story from the community will be actually part of what visitors will learn. We had a series of lectures about different sites in Jordan, and we hosted the 6 open days, both at the university and in the community, to present the work, but also to listen to the community and propose hands-on activities so that they could engage with different aspects of heritage. And last but not least, we organized a university workshop, which was a competition between different universities in Jordan. There's a problem with the microphone. Okay, just a moment. We organized a workshop for university students, which was a competition for different universities in Jordan that had multidisciplinary teams from the universities. They were assigned a theme, and they should come up with a plan. And then they received as a prize a week of training with our team in Petra. So I have a small video that gives an idea of the program and the way community were engaged in the project.
أنا أحمد الموسى، واحد من 5 أشخاص الذين قاموا بتأسيس شركة سيلا للتدريب وحفظ التراث. أسست الشركة عام 2015. هي شركة غير ربحية تهدف سيلا إلى حماية الإرث التراثي الثقافي وبناء قدرات أبناء المجتمعات المحلية داخل المملكة الأردنية الهاشمية، بالإضافة إلى شراكة الأردنيين بالإرث الحضاري بطريقة جيدة وتنظيم سوق العمل في الآثار وإدارة المصادر التراثية.
أنا محمد عبد الله بدول، مدير التوثيق في شركة سيلا. بدأت العمل في شركة سيلا من 2018 كمتدرب في مجال التوثيق الأثري ضمن مشروع التوظيف من خلال الإرث الحضاري، حيث ركز تدريبي حول التوثيق الأثري الذي ضمن عدة دورات، منها الرسم اليدوي والتصوير الفوتوغرافي للموقع الأثري وتوثيق اللغة الأثرية، ودورة في برنامج أوتوكاد والريفت. في سنة 2019 أصبحت مدرب للتوثيق الأثري، حيث قمت بعدة دورات في مجال التوثيق الأثري في عدة مناطق داخل المملكة. تلقيت عدة دورات تدريبية أثناء عملي كمدرب في مجال التوثيق الأثري، ومن ضمن هذه الدورات التصوير الفوتوغرافي وطباعة ثلاثية الأبعاد والتصوير الجوي ودورات للسلامة العامة في الموقع الأثري. عام 2020 أصبحت مدير للتوثيق في شركة سيلا للتدريب وحفظ التراث.
أنا باسم حسنات من مدينة البتراء الأثرية، أعمل لدى شركة سيلا كمدرب توثيق وموثق أثري. لم أكمل دراستي الجامعية، وشركة سيلا أتاحت لي فرصة عمل في مجال التدريب والمحافظة على التراث.
أنا نيرمين الأشقر، خريجة الجامعة الأردنية تخصص إدارة مصادر تراثية وصيانتها. أتيحت لي فرصة بإني أتدرب مع شركة سيلا في مجال الترميم والتوثيق. أخذت دورتين على مرحلتين مختلفتين، يعني في الترميم والتوثيق المستوى الأول. تجربتي مع سيلا سهلت علي إني أفهم عن التخصص أكثر، وإنه أتفاعل مع التدريب العملي في الجامعة أكثر. كان عندي خلفية كتير قوية لما أنا بلشت تدريبي مع الجامعة الأردنية.
أنا المهندسة بانا معطي، جزء من الفريق المستلم معبد الأسود المجنحة في البتراء.
تم تقسيم كادر العمل على 4 فرق توزعت على المواقع في البتراء. كل فريق بتكون من موثقين وأثري ومرمم. العمل تقسم إلى 3 أقسام، وهم توثيق، صيانة، وإعادة تأهيل الموقع. مراحل العمل للتوثيق بتتكون من خطة تستهدف توثيق كامل للموقع من خلال مسح تصويري كخطوة أولى، ومن ثم معالجة الصور لإدخالها على برنامج خاص لإنتاج مجسم افتراضي ثلاثي الأبعاد. هذا المجسم بتم استخراج منه جميع الواجهات والأرضيات والأعمدة وكل التفاصيل المعمارية استعداداً لمرحلة تقييم الحالة الكونديشن أسسمنت فيز. بعد الانتهاء من تقييم حالة الحجر للجدران والأرضيات والأعمدة بتم إدخال جميع المعلومات على برنامج الأوتوكاد كمرحلة نهائية في التوثيق. أما بالنسبة لمرحلة الصيانة، وهي أحد أهم المراحل، يتضمن فيها تنظيف جاف ورطب للعناصر المعمارية في كل موقع وتحضير وتطبيق عينات للخلطة، وتأتي هذه الخطوة بعد مرحلة التوثيق. أخيراً وليس آخراً، القسم الثالث وهو إعادة تأهيل الموقع. هدف إعادة تأهيل الموقع هو تأمين الموقع لاستقبال الزوار، بالإضافة إلى المحافظة على الموقع والتأكد من الحفاظ على استدامة الموقع بوضعه الحالي من خلال عمل وتنظيف المسارات وقنوات المياه وإزالة النباتات وطمر الحفر وتركيب لافتات، بالإضافة إلى أعمال أخرى.
So those projects represented the most complete expression of Sela's philosophy so far. Heritage as a shared process that protects, educates, and employs. It really takes a village. Since the early days, we have put our efforts into involving all the layers of the community, from individuals to the civil society, with a rich variety of community activities aiming at raising awareness, especially focused on younger generations. We have, as I mentioned previously, we usually organize summer camps at archaeological sites for children between 7 and 14 years old. And we try to engage the children not only in heritage themed activities, but also every time it's possible, we usually have a play that the kids will script, and they will prepare the costumes, they will prepare the scenes, and then all the families will come to the site to actually see the play. And this is a way not only to engage the new generations with the archaeological site, but also very often has been the first time that families were visiting the archaeological site. So it was a very good opportunity to have the community coming and learn something about the archaeology in their backyard. Also, as I mentioned previously, with the learning through multicultural Amman project, we actually brought a heritage book for children, and from that first book, now we have a series of 7 books set at different archaeological sites in Jordan. And the interesting part of the creative process of the books is that the writer, Rashad Ababna, goes into the community. We organize an open date with the kids, which involves heritage-themed activities, but also book reading. And then the children from the community contribute to the creative process. So when we go back into schools and we read the books, kids are very engaged because they can find their ideas in the books that we are reading about the archaeological site. So it's at the same time a way to educate, but also to give to put the narrative in the hand of the community and how we are presenting archaeological sites. And one of our last projects that focus on engaging younger generations is Ahmed's adventure in Petra. In 2023, we prepared a game for the Petra Museum with a character called Ahmed. And last year, we gave Ahmed an entire family. And then with the support of Lagara Foundation, we actually gave life to this family. So we hired 10 actors that will be scattered at 10 different stations in the archaeological site. And the children, we organized 10 different visits. And so the group of children will go meet the actors that will explain about the monuments, but also they will have the opportunity at each monument to do some hands-on activities. And we printed a booklet where they can find all the information, and also they have educational games so that they keep the memory of the experience that they had and so. I have another short video. Look, this is. So this is Ahmed's family. And this project was implemented through last summer, and we have hosted over 250 children of different ages from all the 6 communities living around Petra.
ما المشكلات إن كل تعاضد كي تحل.
There was music.
باسم السلام يبتدي.
The aim of the project was also to combine modern tradition with information about history and archaeology. So we had music, cooking, beside the heritage team activities.
بفطرتنا الآمل نحيي نعمر أرضنا وبلا كلل هي رحلة عنوانها أن نستمر بلا ملل حب ويتبعه عمل آمنت أن الناس للناس وتلك
Again, just okay. So beyond the social dimension, Sela is also contributing to technical innovation in CRM in Jordan. Our training model is hands-on and context-specific. Every project is a classroom. We combine traditional knowledge with modern scientific approaches in all the phases of the work, as you have briefly seen in the previous video. Training projects are implemented with rigorous scientific methodologies, including documentation and reversible conservation. We have also been researching about alternative materials for conservation, since, as many of you may know, in Jordan it's a major challenge importing materials for conservation from outside. And so for the past 2 to 3 years, we have been experimenting off-site with new materials that we can produce locally, like calcium caseinate, for example. And most important, we always try to keep our community members and our staff. We continuously propose training both for community members and our staff. Over the past 3 years, we have implemented over 25 specialized training programs And one of which we are most proud of is that we have trained the first 10 conservators on rope in Jordan, of which 5 women, and we have 8 of them here today because they were renewing their license. So they came to Amman to renew the license today. So exactly 1 year ago, we actually started this training. And for the past year, the climbers have been working on the documentation and emergency conservation of the tomb of Sextus Florentinus in Petra. So through all this training and this effort of 5 years, currently we have a team of 15 members with different specializations and a very large family of trained community members, which are recurrent collaborators and bring in different expertise and professionalism. Over 200. So how are we driving a positive change? These numbers refer to our most recent projects, which are JASI and Petra maintenance projects. So of over 230 direct beneficiaries of the project contributed to hundreds of households, about 1,500 individuals indirectly benefited from the project. The project has enhanced the long well-being by providing a sustainable livelihood and fostering social cohesion through collaborative efforts across the diverse Petra communities. As you can see in the data that I reported, over 61% of the interviewees reported that their relationships with the family and the friends changed positively following their employment in the project. And 99% of the interviewees were able to build new relationships with people from communities other than their own. And for those of you who know the dynamics in the Petra region, this is alone a major achievement. For many, our project represented the first paid opportunity linked to heritage, while for others, it was the chance to transform a personal interest into a career. Over 90% of the project beneficiaries supported their families and provided for them. And almost 40% of the beneficiaries were the sole breadwinners of the family. Over 85% of the project beneficiaries indicated that the job provided by the project is their only source of income. And with this income, they were able to meet all their monthly commitment. But this project also produced a skilled task force that now exists in Petra and is ready to work in conservation and maintenance. And the capacity building program increased the employability. And in fact, several of the people that were trained and employed in our project have been later hired by PTDRA, including one of the people that was in the video that now works permanently at PTDRA, Mohammed, that was our former director of documentation. And also the project contributed to strengthen the sense of community ownership for the heritage. And working with Sela has transformed how heritage is perceived by many in the community, shifting the focus from viewing it as solely as an economic source tied to tourism to appreciating its value as a cultural resource. Through specialized training and active involvement in preservation efforts, individuals have come to understand the deeper significance of Petra's antiquities. They now see the site not only as an asset for generating income, but also as symbols of history, identity, and pride. This shift in perspective has inspired a strong commitment to safeguarding heritage for future generations, emphasizing its role as a cornerstone of cultural preservation rather than just a means to attract tourists. One of the most rewarding aspects has been its impact on young people. By engaging high school students and university students, we have inspired the next generation to see heritage preservation not just as a duty, but as a potential career path. So after 10 years of practice, what are the lessons that we learned? We learned that communities are central to sustainability. Heritage cannot be protected without the people who live with it. When they gain ownership, conservation becomes a shared responsibility rather than an external intervention. Participation builds skills and confidence. Beyond technical knowledge, our program has built self-confidence and social cohesion. We have seen many young people move from uncertainty to leadership roles within just a few years, and that partnerships matter. The collaboration with national and international institutions have been the real engine of our growth as a company, and also have created many opportunities to widen the horizon of our work. Our work demonstrates that cultural resources management can create jobs, stimulate local economies, and inspire pride of place, contributing directly to sustainable development goals. So what is the road ahead? We are now entering a new phase with several new projects on the horizon. We are currently working in Petra to map and assess painted heritage with a project that is supported by Lagara Foundation, and that we hope next year to work on the implementation of the conservation plan that we are preparing right now. We will be also furtherly formalizing our training programs. We have received a grant from the Italian Cooperation Agency in collaboration with a vocational training center in Italy. And so we are now in the process of revising all our training programs to expand it and also to make it recognized at European level. And finally, we hope to expand further the rope access conservation through further training of more people, but also through more projects that will use the climbers. So, sorry, there's one that has overlapped. So for me, this journey has been transformative too. I have seen many young people who started as trainees become our trainers. And I have seen young women and men who have never worked in CRM become site supervisors. I have also seen heritage evolve from something distant, like a monument behind a fence, into a living resource that sustains community. This, I believe, is the true meaning of cultural resources management, not managing the past, but managing our shared future. So 10 years ago, Sela began with a simple belief that the people who live closest to heritage are the best guardians. Today, that belief has become a movement, one that grows and learns and inspires. And thank you.